Okay, take two. I want to tell you a little bit about something that you've experienced. Hopefully, you've seen before in your career, or at least at the university. We talk about what's called the sales funnel, and there's variations of this sales funnel, and there's different applications of the sales funnel, and there's different different things we can talk about. There's B2B, there's B2C. There's different actions. There's people who add a little bit more steps to this. One of the big takeaways from the sales funnel for me is understanding what content to deliver at each stage of the sales process. Really understanding your customer, that when they're just kind of in the information gathering stage versus when they're actually in the consideration stage, the landing page or the experience they have with your organization had better change based on where they're at, in their process. And I want to tell you about an experience of last semester because it was kind of a one and done experience, unfortunately. I won't go into too much detail, but I got into trouble with the ethics committee at the university because a student wasn't happy with the situation. And I could see how ethically this could be a problem, but it wasn't at all my intentions. And you'll see here for a minute why I was pretty confident that it wasn't a big deal. But it ended up being a problem. But what I decided to do for the first time ever is I changed this management capstone class. And I wanted to get my students to have an opportunity to really take a chance to look at each stage of this funnel and a project that would allow everybody the same opportunity to really understand the sales funnel. And sorry, I'm gonna grab my calculator because we're gonna need it. And so I decided to use my own company, and the company is the Relate Foundation. We have a relationship assessment that can help couples understand the key research-based validated holes of their relationship. It's actually so research-based and validated that it can predict divorce with 93% accuracy. We don't market it that way, but it can. So I decided to set up a group project where there were 5 groups. I think there were 5 groups in the class, and they were all given the same project, this Relate Institute. And our assessment is $40. And each group for half the semester had to do some research, positioning, branding, and justification for a $2,000 budget. So I'm basically handed 5 groups $10,000, $2,000 each that they asked for. And they had to predict what they were going to accomplish in terms of actual sales. But they not only had to predict sales, but they had to predict how much awareness, interest, intent, and purchase. We granted them, well, this is my company, there's a CEO running it. I'm just an investor, so the CEO is the one that they work with too. But we granted them a developer and gave them ample time to create their own landing page, however they wanted, branding and everything, messaging, all of that, call to action. The idea was to have a call to action to go to the cart, and each group had a coupon code discount tied to them. So we could tell, okay, they hit that landing page, if they go to the cart with that coupon code, and it must have come from them, and then the purchase would happen, and we could attribute it to the group. I told all 5 groups that it wasn't all about, that this experiment, this opportunity to really just kind of run your own marketing wasn't just about purchases, even though in the end game it is. I told them that I would grade them 25% of the project on all 4 of these areas. That way, if they wanted to win in one area and they purposely focused on, say, awareness and won in that area, then they could score the highest in that area. So it wasn't all about purchase. And that was kind of the situation. So, where the ethical comes in, I guess, is saying that, here I'm having students do my work and make me $1 million, I guess. I could see how that could be a problem, other than I was giving them budget experience. And just so you all know, the winning group, the top group, actually I think there were 6 groups now that I think about it, 6 groups, the winning group got 6 purchases. $2,000 budget, $240 return. That's a negative return. 2 groups didn't get any purchases, but the winning group got 6. So needless to say, I lost a lot of money last semester. But I thought the experience was really what mattered. And I want to share with you kind of this experience a little bit, because I think in marketing, I don't care if you're digital, traditional, integrated marketing, whatever it might be, the same funnel is applicable to your business, okay? That whatever your goal or conversion is, there's actually numbers that can help you understand the likelihood of you getting there. And I shared this with them. I just didn't go to the next step. I wanted them to do the math, but I don't know if anybody ever did. But turns out that we can, if we have, right, if our goal, right, was just to break even, I'd be stoked, right? Young marketing team in college somehow can break even with 50 purchases. I'm going to put them over here. Okay. We have a goal, in this case, of 50 purchases. We can actually work backwards through this funnel to understand what we have to accomplish in order to get this. Okay. So it turns out that on average, okay, between 60 and 80% of all carts are abandoned. 60 to 80% are abandoned carts, okay, on average. So if we just took kind of middle of the road, 70%, meaning only 30% purchase, we can do some math. I know that's scary, right? But we can do some math, and dividing 50 by 0.3, we have to get 166 people to actually add the product to the cart, knowing that we're going to lose somewhere near 70% of them. Okay, so that kind of gives us an idea of what we've got to accomplish. But turns out that only on average 2.35% of individuals hitting your landing page end up adding something to the cart. So we can do that math again. And dividing this by 0.0235% means we need to get 7,092 people on our landing page in order to get that 2%, in order to get 30% to actually make the purchase after they add it to the cart, okay? Which means, right, we take this another step. When you do the math, it turns out that about 2% of the audience out there that sees your message will come visit your landing page on average, right, across all your different mediums. So we divide that by 2%. That's 354,609 people that we need to have at the top of the funnel in order to get to our 50 purchases based on the averages. Now, I wasn't trying to set these groups up for failure, but a $2,000 advertising budget, or awareness budget, if you will, to reach 354,000 people is a very difficult thing to do. If you can accomplish that, I'll hire you tomorrow. I mean, that is a tough assignment. It requires a lot of creativity, right? A lot of guerrilla marketing, which the groups had unlimited opportunity. I didn't want to give them too many ideas, but they could go print flyers and go door to door in apartment buildings. They could go to cars. Anything. College students was our audience too in this case, but I won't get into that. So they had a lot of opportunities, a lot of different ways, a lot of different channels, as we call it, to get to that audience. Now, what does this tell us? That if we know what we need to accomplish in marketing in terms of our goal, we can work backwards to see really what we've got to get to, what we've got to hit. Now, when you look at this, I might ask the question, well, what can we do differently to hit our goal? And I hope you realize these averages are not what you should be. Hopefully you're better than average and not average or worse, right? Hopefully you're bringing that curve up. So you can spend time focusing on the levers that you have control over, right? A/B testing your landing page, doing some remarketing to those who abandon their cart, right? Segmenting and targeting your audience better so that you increase the conversion numbers, right? So these are averages, but if you bump these up in any sort of fashion, and we're talking if you can bump this up even by 1% or 2%, that's 100% increase, right? If you go up to 4% here, that drops that number by half. Right? So it's not a lot of movement here to really actually get some really great numbers over here. And I was hoping to help groups understand and realize that it's not just magic, but it's also gets really, really difficult, and why marketing's not just for everyone. I want to tell you one group, though, the one group of all of them, one group said to themselves, I didn't know this till the end, it was kind of cool, but they said, we are setting out to win the awareness. We want to get the most awareness, and we can track it, and we're going to measure it, and we're going to kill it, and we're going to win that category. At the end, I'm like, okay, cool, how'd you do? That group got around 180,000 eyeballs with their messaging. And in terms of perspective, all other 5 groups combined was less than that number. So it was really awesome. It was really awesome to see that group set out and said, we're going to win that. And not only did they win it, they crushed it. So this gave a lot of opportunity for groups to experiment, to challenge. Would have loved to have seen more time. We were hit with COVID, unfortunately, right in the middle of this, which might have probably impacted some of the effort. I would have loved to experience this again, but you can experience this every day that you're in marketing. You can take a look at these numbers, see where you're winning, see where you're losing, and put a little bit of science to the magic, to the creative. Understand kind of what levers you can pull, how you're performing, and see where you have opportunity to perform better at your job in marketing. So hopefully, I'd ask for questions, but I can't do that. But anyway, if you have questions or comments, just let me know.